Hello everyone. Well, this is something I really quite enjoy painting, is old family photographs that I find, and I'm going to paint them in one colour, Dorset Blue, which has a really strong tonal range, so I can go from very lights to very darks. I'll just show you the drawing that I've done. I've done quite a lot of detail in that because I need to paint it quite quickly, and the lights need to be in the right places, the darks need to be in the right places. I'm going to use 3 very pointy brushes, size 30, 10 and a 16. I'm also possibly going to use these 2 rakes, toothbrush, some cards and some masking fluid to start with. So are we ready? Well, the first thing that I need to do is to highlight out some of the bits that I want to keep absolutely sparkling white. And the first thing I'm going to use is the bamboo pen and dip that into some coloured masking fluid. Just sort of squint a little bit at my reference material and then highlight anything that I want to stay pure white in the end, because using one colour is about the lovely contrast that you get. Now I might have to alter some of the tones a little bit to make it work so that things stand out against each other, but this is all really good practice. And I'm going to put a wash of water with a size 16 brush over the sky, and then I'm going to put a really watered down mix of Dorset Blue. Just to get it darker, all I need to do is just add more pigments to my mix. So less water, more pigment, not dark, but I want that rock at the front to be just a little darker. So all the time you're looking at the colours, one against, all the tones, one against the other. For features, I don't want to overdo this, so I'm doing a pale-ish wash for the first tone, and then anywhere where there's some shadow I'm just going in with a little bit darker mix of the Dorset Blue, and then if there's anywhere very dark I'm putting that in, and it will run a little bit. Now it's not a problem to tidy this up later with a little bit of white gouache, as these are members of my lovely family, and I want them to be recognisable, so there'll be a little bit more care taken with something like this than a normal loose painting of maybe buildings or something. Just keep working through, looking at light and dark shapes. If you have to adjust one to be slightly lighter or one to be slightly darker, do this. especially on clothes or when children are next to each other, it will really make it work. Photograph isn't very good quality, and so it's a little bit harder than normal to work from this. It was photographed from a book and I don't know where the original is, so it's a lot of artistic license, but it's well worth the effort. This dog had some strange markings on its face, and in the end I decided to make it a little bit darker so they didn't show up, because he wasn't really looking like a dog. So no, artistic license at that point. I didn't want something that wasn't quite right or looked a bit strange to be really standing out. Splattering time. So I've covered up the children or the siblings because I didn't want to splatter them with a toothbrush, and then I'm going to dip my paint into the Dorset Blue quite thick, and I'm going to splatter some of those rocks, which gives a really lovely texture. Time to take out the masking fluid. I use one of these maskaways from the SAA. They're brilliant. It really saves sore fingers when you put masking fluid on, and it just brings it off without damaging the paper. They are brilliant. Now I'm looking for all the really dark. So to make this dark, I've mixed the pigment quite strong with very little water. You don't want it to be shiny when it comes off the brush, but you want it to stay dark and not dry lighter. And then I'm just squinting and looking for all the dark shapes I can find, and this should really bring it together. Now I'd like to get some of the strands of hair in, and so I'm going to use a rake brush, which will give me some lovely sort of wispy fine bits of hair. Not too much, because this isn't a really detailed picture, but I think on this occasion it would really help, and that just does it for you. Let's turn our picture upside down. It's amazing when it's upside down and your reference material, the things that you might have missed really stand out. So I scan it to look for the dark shapes that might need to go in, and I also scan it for the light shapes that might need to go in. And it's surprising what you haven't put in that you haven't noticed. This is a really good way of looking for any of those bits. I want to soften some of this, so I'm going to use some white gouache just to soften some of the areas, bring back the whites that need to be a little bit softer rather than with masking fluid. They can be a little bit harsh, but because it's already white underneath, it's quite easy to use the gouache on top and to soften it. Well, thank you for watching this. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's lovely to paint family members. This is my husband and 5 of his siblings, and a wonderful, wonderful family. And I think to capture moments like this in watercolour, we've all got them, haven't we, tucked away, is just lovely. So thank you for watching.